Guys, hello and welcome to the THQ podcast. So in this episode, what we are going to be talking about is it okay to eat late at night? Now that is a massive worry for a lot of people. Now, a lot of people think that eating a big meal before they go to bed, and when they're not moving as much, when they sat there in the evening, is going to be detrimental to fat gain. So your body's going to be more likely to gain fat, which is absolutely nonsense. It's just literally not true. What we eat over the full 24 hours, and if not the whole 7 days, is the only thing that really matters. And why I think it's been such a damaging myth in the fitness industry is because life is just not like it used to be. 9 to 12 to 5 when we can eat meals and everything just ticks over. You know, people work nights, people work shifts, people work long days. It becomes, you have households where both parents work, so you're rushing around, and you know it comes to the point where you have to eat late at night. And that becomes very worrying for a lot of people, and it becomes more confusing for the situation. And then when we add confusion into body transformation and fitness in general, it becomes a lot easier just to ignore the reality and just carry on doing what you're doing, because it's far too complicated to actually make changes. In actual fact, it's very simple. So you can eat pretty much when you want. 7 days a week, over the full 7 days is what you need to look at your food intake, and over the full 24 hours. Many times, I will eat, like if I get back at 11 o'clock at night, I will eat late at night. Now, it does come down to a few factors. You have to look at a few factors, and I'm not saying you should absolutely smash the biggest meal, because you need to look at your sleep. Now, if you are eating late in the evening and you're having something like, let's say for example, plenty of vegetables and plenty of red meat, say for example, then red meat's going to take a long time to digest. So that is going to affect your sleep, and that's something that you don't want it to do. So we need to look at the food choices, and I generally try to avoid more fatty, heavier meat stuff if I'm eating later in the evening, and a little bit less vegetables, because I get plenty of vegetables in during the day if anyone's ever watched any of my food diary videos. That's something that I do look at when I'm eating late at night. So I enjoy a little bit more of a higher carb meal. Higher carbs are going to release serotonin, it's going to help me relax. I do keep my protein in there because it is important, but I don't have too much higher protein, because I've realised that a little bit less protein does tend to help my sleep a little bit more if I'm not over having too much protein. So I tend to have more of a carbohydrate meal if I'm eating later at night, and that's my reasons for that. Now, one of the things I wanted to look at as well as about eating late at night is that if you are, let's say you and your partner eat a little bit later in the evening, say the kids eat at 4 or 5 o'clock, there's many times where I strategically try to be a little bit more hungry. So I always have a good breakfast, and then I'm a little bit of a lighter lunch, I'm a little bit more hungry, and then I can handle the 4 or 5 o'clock bit. I can handle being a little bit hungry. I'll maybe feed the kids, and I'll just hold on to that bit where I'm hungry. Yes, I could easily go over and have a snack and have some toast or have something, but then I need to look at the reality is, are you going to actually starve to death? No, you're not. So if you're having something because you're starving, it's more of a mindset issue, not necessarily something that you need. So if you can't handle that being hungry for them few hours, you can't handle that, then you need to make sure that have a protein shake or something of snacks that's going to actually fill you up, or try and handle being hungry. Now I handle being hungry, that gets me through to the next bit, and then about 7, 8 o'clock then I'll have my evening meal, so I'm not as hungry when I go to bed. Again, I have the food choices as I've mentioned, because I think that's something that's very important. But you've got to test how things make you feel and how you can adhere to things. Now, keeping a food diary I think is essential, especially at the start of a body transformation, because you need to understand when you can handle being hungry, when you can't, when you fail, when you don't fail. And if you think that you'll remember all these things, then why aren't you in shape now? So if you think that you can't be bothered to write something down, you know when you mess up. You need to write down black and white, make an actual note of this is when I'm messing up. It's in black and white then. And if you carry on repeating the same thing, you're not going to carry on repeating the same thing, because you can't do. If you write down this is where you fail, this is where you need to improve on, and you actively improve on it, you'll set yourself up for success. But you have to understand you, and that starts with a food diary, and it's okay to be hungry, right? Sometimes, but not too hungry. No one wants to be uncontrollably hungry. But if you generally eat in the right foods and the right food choices, you're never going to be uncontrollably hungry. You might just be a little bit hungry sometimes. But there is 2 times that I have figured out where I cannot be hungry, and I've mentioned it before, and that's morning and late in the evening. So later in the evening is when I have to eat. So I can sacrifice being a little bit hungry around 4 or 5 o'clock when I'm probably ready for my tea. But if I eat there, sometimes I'm running the risk of being hungry by the time I go to bed if I haven't got enough calories to play with. If it's a nice family time, we're all going to sit down at 6 o'clock, I'll make sure that I have enough calories to sit down and eat my meal, and then I have enough calories to have a little snack before I go to bed, just so I avoid that hunger. And it's I hope that the point of this episode is that you start to understand yourself, what actually works for you. So yes, of course, it's 100% okay to eat late at night. You've just got to work out what works best for you guys. As always, I want to help you. So if you are a member, please email me, carl@transformationhq.co.uk. I will be happy to answer any questions. If you've got anything you want me to talk about, any podcasts you want me to do a little bit more in depth, I will be happy to do that as well. If you're a non-member and you're interested in finding out a little bit more about what we do at THQ, we do run a 6-week program, which is basically, on average, people drop a stone in weight, 1 to 3 inches off the waist, legs and arms, and build habits that last an absolute lifetime. So if you do want any more information on that, drop me an email at carl@transformationhq.co.uk or head over to our website at transformationhq.co.uk, fill in your inquiry form. Some of our gyms do have waiting lists, some have places. If you're inquiring, then we can give you some more information and we can let you know what's going on. But in the meantime, there's nothing more to say. So if you want me to help you in any way, do feel free to do that. If not, have a fantastic day. Take care, and I will see you in the next episode.